Hey everyone, this is a new tutorial from Sarah. I'm going to be showing you how to model a bullet and animate it in Maya, then take the animation we've done in Maya and transfer it over to After Effects to shoot someone in the chest and make him shatter into 1,000 pieces. Okay, so first let's start off in Maya. I'm going to go in, I'm going to zoom in here, and for like a quick control thing, if you push the Alt key on your keyboard and then click the right mouse, you'll zoom in. If you hold the Alt and click the left mouse, you'll rotate. The middle mouse does the same no matter if you hold the Alt key or not. It just zooms in. It just zooms in chunks. So, let's start off. Make sure that you're in the animation settings since we're going to be animating. Up here on these tabs up here, click on polygons, go to a cylinder. We're going to drag that up and then drag it up. Now you might it might look like this, but that's okay. Just click this middle button here and you'll get a nice solid form. Now for this to look like a bullet, I'm actually going to smooth it, and if you hit 3 on your keyboard, it'll show you what it'll look like once we smooth it. Right now it doesn't really look like a bullet, so let's get started transforming it into a bullet. I am going to need more subdivisions around here, so we're going to go to Inputs on this menu here. Click this and click that. See this? Inputs, Polycylinder, click on that. We're going to go to Subdivision Height, and I'm just going to put 3. That sounds pretty good. And there we go. Now I want this line right here to go down here. So I'm going to right click, go to Edge Mode, click here, but I want to select all of these. So I'm going to press Shift, double click, and that should give me the whole selection around. Now I want to move it down, hit the W key. If you don't want to use hotkeys, then use the then here's to move, to rotate, and this one is to scale. I just want to move it, so I'm going to take this green arrow and I'm going to move it down. Okay, I'm pretty satisfied with that. Now I'm going to go into Object. Now I'm going to go into Vertex mode. And I want to select these vertexes up at the top. Select, and again I want to do the same trick we used, so select. Sometimes it doesn't work all that, so I got to zoom in, Shift, hold Shift, double click, and all of these will be selected. Now the scale hotkey to scale it is R, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to bring this in like this, bring this in like that, maybe just a bit more like this. I'm going to turn it around, go up, and that looks pretty good. Excuse me. So once I have that, I'm going to go into Object mode. I'm going to see what it looks like smooth, so I'm going to hit 3. That looks pretty good, but I like my bullets to have a pretty, creased edge right here. So we're going to go back into full mode here. I'm going to go into, once again, Edge mode. Click Edge, double click Shift. Now this time we have to go into the polygon setting here because the tool I need is in polygons. So click Change to Polygons, go to Edit Mesh, and all the way down here is the Crease tool. Once you have that selected, I have all my edges selected. You just it says Select Crease to drag middle mouse, grab your middle mouse, and drag it. That looks pretty good. And I also want to do this one. I'm going to click this mouse because it doesn't like to select when it's in that tool mode. Once again, I'm going to select this. Actually, and I don't like where it's positioned, so I'm going to move it down a bit. Right there. Now that it's all selected, you can click over here. It looks like a balloon area, but this is where your previous tool was. The last tool that I used, which was Crease tool. So I'm going to click over here so I don't have to go to the menus again. And then I'm going to crease that. And this is what it looks like when you smooth it. So it kind of looks more like a bullet. Okay, so I like that. There's our bullet. Now I'm going to go into object mode, select all that, go to mesh, and we're going to smooth it, which is right here. And it's going to create more polygons, and it's going to look more bullet-like. So there's my bullet. Now it's gray and kind of boring. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a texture to it, which is fairly easy. Just click on the object, get the green lines, go to right click, go all the way down to assign new material. Okay, and I'm going to use a Fong right here. That's what I'm going to use. So it gives me kind of a shine. You see that little bit of a shine right there? That's really nice. I'm going to go now into Windows, Render Editors, and Hypershade. What Hypershade is it shows me the attributes. See, here's my Fong. It shows me the attributes of my textures in a nice little organized way. So I'm going to graph this, and for sakes of organization, I'm going to rename this bullet. Okay. So now this is a bullet. I'm going to go into the Fong, and I'm going to change the color. Maybe a goldish color right here. A little bit more yellow. Okay, going to brighten that up. There we go. So now we have, I'm just going to shrink this down a bit. Now our bullet is yellow, but I kind of like my bullets to have a little bit of texture, so I'm going to go to 2D textures, and I'm going to select fractal right there. Just click it, and it's going to come up. I'm going to move it right here. Now I need to add it to this node right here. So what we're going to do is going to take this, you're going to middle mouse click it, and you're going to drag it right in there, and I want it as a bump mat. I don't want an ambient color, I don't want color, I don't want any of these because I want it to have a bumpy texture, so I need a bump mat. As you see, it got very bumpy, very jagged looking. If you go in here, it doesn't look very good. So we're going to go into bump map, and I'm going to turn this pretty down until I can get it to about there. So I would say about a 160, maybe like 150. You can play around with it depending on how creased you liked your bullets. Now I want to see what that looked like, so I'm just going to hit this little thing. It looks like a film thing that they go take. It's the render thing, and I'm just going to take a quick render. See how very bumpy that is? I'm actually not thrilled with that bump, so I'm going to go back over here to bump depth. And I'm going to go down even further to about 0.83. I want to render it all again. This is just an area I've selected, and if you go up in here to the render view and click on this red square, it will render just this. And, oh, I like that. Okay. So my bullet's all ready. It's all ready to be animated. So I need about 2.5 seconds of film, so I'm going to change that. Now in Maya, a second of film is 30 frames. So right now, let me just click that out of the way for everyone to see. Nope. Okay, so right now I have 30 frames. See this down at the bottom? 30 frames. And this is 1 second of film. And I need about 2 or so more over, so I'm going to do about 70 frames. 60 frames is 2 seconds, and it goes in increments of 3, like 30. So 30 is 1 second, 60 is 2 seconds, 90 is 3 seconds, and so on and so forth. Just keep adding 30, and you've added a second. So I have 70 frames, and make sure that when you're animating, you get out of polygons and go to animation, like I did in the first time. Okay, grab this, hit my W key so I can get the move, and I want my bullet. Okay, so I'm going to start my animation now. I have 70 frames, exactly like I want. So now I'm going to move my bullet into position. Just start by moving the bullet this way. Don't forget also to change your settings from polygons to animation. And I'm going to zoom out a bit and then move my move my bullet. Move it this way. And I'm going to put my camera back to where it was, right about there. And my bullet's still in the scene and I don't want it there, so keep moving it out. Awesome. Now I have my camera like this, up and out. Now I'm going to rotate it, push the E button to get the rotate, or just click that button again. I'm going to move it down, and we're going to give it a little bit of that way, so it like shoots that way. Okay, I'm going to rotate the camera a little bit. Okay, so now I'm going to key this. I'm going to bring up this one, this menu tab. Right now I have the bullet selected, so I'm going to key the bullet where it is right now. So how you do that is you press the S button on your keyboard while in animation, and you'll see these turn red and this turns red. That means you've keyed your scene. Now I want it to shoot this way, so I am going to go to 70, the end frame. I'm going to hit W, and I'm just going to move the bullet and get it back into place there. And I'm going to move it a bit more, like that. And I think that's pretty good. So I'm going to key it. Now I'm going to go back to frame 1. There goes the bullet, went straight back. Now we're going to play this and see how it looks. And there goes our bullet, and it's firing. It's pretty slow right now, but that's okay because we're in slow motion, and compared to how slow our character is moving or our person's moving in the film, it's actually relatively pretty fast. So that's pretty good. Read that. I'm going to go put my perspective camera right here so that it looks like it's firing out there and shooting them right there. Okay, rewind. Now I'm ready to render this out, which means I'm going to go to the render setting. But before I do anything else, I'm going to go to this button right here. It's the take button with 2 dots right there, 2 circles, and we're going to click it. And we're going to go into the Maya settings, and we're going to rearrange some things. Here it's going to say something different for you, probably like Maya IFF. We actually want, you can either use TIFF or Targa. I like to use TIFF, so that's what I'm going to be using. They also have, probably what you have is like name single frame. Go down to name.hashtag.extent. Click that. Your starting end frame will probably say 10. I changed it to 70 because that's where my ending frame is. And I'm pretty happy with that size, but I don't like it rendering out in Maya software, so I like Mental Ray better. So if you click on this drop down, you'll notice that Mental Ray is not on there. But that's okay. We can go and get Mental Ray. All we have to do is we go to Windows, Settings and Preferences, go to Plugin Manager, go all the way down to the bottom until you see mayatomar.mll. Click the loaded button. The out one came back, and that's okay. And hit close. So now that's loaded. I'm going to go back to my render settings. Now I can go drop down, and Mental Ray is now an option that I can choose. So we're going to model in Mental Ray. Notice that you have a lot more options, which is good. I'm going to click Quality, and I'm going to put it into a production quality so that it looks pretty good. So now I have all my settings the way that I like them. I'm going to close that. Now I'm going to go to render, down to batch render, and I'm going to click this little square. I'm going to leave all of the settings as is, but first make sure that you go here and you set project file. Just double check, it doesn't take that long. So bullet, set. Now I'm going to batch render and close. It's going to ask you to save and I'll be fine. Then you go up here, click this button, check your progress, rendering with mental rays, and it should be fairly fast, but I'm going to, no, see there it goes, but I'm going to pause it for now, and then I'm going to come back and show you when it's all done. Okay, so now you see that it has rendered out all 70 frames. So now, and we're going to go into scenes. We're going to go into images, and you're going to see there's my animation. There's the bullet and stuff. Here's the first one, second one. So, yeah, all that good stuff. Now that we have our bullet all nice and rendered out and it's an animation, we can finally start into our After Effects. Now first, I am going to bring in the file of my person. So I need to go down here into here, and here's my film. Import. There's my film, and it's just a simple film of, we're going to call him Dan for this one, and he's just pretending like he got shot. Awesome. So I'm going to zoom in on that one a bit. We have our footage, and like Dan got shot. Oh, there he goes. Now I'm going to import, I'm going back to File, Import, File. I'm going to go up to my desktop, go to Bullet, go to Images, select the very first animation, and I'm going to import that. And it's going to pop this frame up, and that's okay. Straight, unmatted, that's okay. I want to put that in there. So now I'm going to move my animation down here. I'm going to move it up at the top so you can see it. And I'm going to play it, and there it goes. Now, obviously I need to make this a lot bigger, and things like, I need to make it bigger, and I need to put it to where it's not just appearing out of nowhere. So we're going to move it over here. I'm going to click this square and then press shift. You can't do it the other way. You can't click on shift and then do it the other way around. It doesn't work like that. I've tried. So there. Okay, and this is where the bullet ends. I want it to hit Devin in the chest. And I'm going to go here, and I'm actually going to go down to transform, and I'm going to scale this down a bit right here. So that's, okay. I'm going to move this again so that it's out of the frame. Click, shift, pull out. And obviously it's not syncing up to where I want it to hit him because he's going to grab his shoulder. So obviously we have to move it here. Once again, it's not big enough, so click here, hold shift. There we go. Scale it even more. And then it goes right there, and I just want to hit it right there. Scale it down some more. Hit him right here. So it looks like that. Hit him right in the chest. Okay. Now I have that, and notice that it's actually doesn't have the background anymore, which is exactly what I want. I want it. Now you can like play around with the bullet size if you want. I don't mind the big bullet very much, so that's fine with me. Okay, everyone, now that we have our bullet in place in animation, I'm going to now make it so that Dan over here is shattered into a million pieces. So I'm going to turn off the bullet. For organization's sakes, I'm going to rename this Dan. Now, I am going to make a copy of this one, which means I'm going to hit Control D, and that will give me Dan 2, which is what I want. And with Dan 2 selected, I'm going to turn off this one, and now I'm going to zoom out a bit, and I'm going to use this pen tool to outline Dan so that I can get a mask around him. And I need a fairly big one so that I can keep some other animation I don't want out of the shot. So I'm going to start over here, and I'm just going to go around him like this. I need a fairly big mask. And you have to connect the points. And there, I have masked him. Now he's all cut out. Go back to my mouse settings. Now I see that he's like this. Now I want to make a shot to where he just about when he gets hit. And then he got hit right there. No, I want it right there. So now I'm going to take this one. I'm going to go to Layer, Time, Freeze Frame. So now, in this layer, he just stays the same. Nothing's going to change. Good. Good, good, good. Okay. Now, I'm going to take this, and I'm going to pre-comp it. Go to Pre-Composition, and I'm going to, I want to do comp, so we're just going to do Dan / pieces. Okay. Now we're going to move it over to where he shatters, so I'm going to turn this back on. And I'm going to move it over here a little bit. See where that is? Right there. I wanted to match it. That looks pretty good. That looks pretty believable. I just want to make sure that's where he is. Okay. Once we do that, I'm actually going to pre-comp this one more time, but this time I'm going to leave all attributes to that. Just do that again. Okay. Now that we have that all well, I need to freeze frame out of this, and I'm actually going to shatter him in there, and we're going to be using something called CC Pixel Poly right here. So I'm going to take that, drag it onto the screen, and you'll see that right there he just shatters. Now that's a little blocky for me, like that's a lot of triangles. So I'm going to grid spacing, turn that down a lot, turn that way down. So he just goes, so it's like millions of pieces, not like triangular pieces. I might even like go down even further to about 4. So he's just like little bitty pieces. And we're going to do force, so we're going to calm that down a bit. And then I'm going to go back to here. I'm going to mess with the gravity. Let's see what I'm doing. Mess with the gravity a little bit. Turn it down just a smidge. So it just falls away. He is no more. And if I turn this scene on, and I go back, we're going to play it all together. And, oops, I forgot to turn on the bullet. Turn on the bullet. We're going to play it all together. He got shot Oh, that hurts so bad, and shatters into a million pieces. Now you see right there is he still's going on, and I don't want that, so I'm going to take this film and I'm going to move it right there. Okay. Okay. You see now that when he disappears, like the film comes back and I don't want that. Also there's this green screen that I need to take care of. So what I'm going to do is that I had already found something previously. I'm going to desktop and I'm going to go find an image, and I have called it parking garage. So actually I'm going to go to file, import file. I'm going to go to desktop. I'm going to go all the way down, find my parking garage one, import it. Good. Now I'm going to bring that one down all the way to the bottom. Now you see I can't really see it. Also I know that it's going to be too small, so we're going to up that, move it a bit. But I can see that it's not showing up, which is not good. So we're going to go to Dan number 1, and we're going to add a key light. So the key light, and I'm going to move this, drop it right onto the scene. Actually, I don't want to have anything else. I just want it to be on Dan, this layer, so I'm going to key light this. Take this dropper right here on screen color, take this, do the background, key that out. I also need to do the same for this Dan. I need to find where he is, find where it starts. Okay. I'm going to add a key light to him, and I'm going to key out this color. So when he shatters, no more of that. Okay, good. So now I'm going to turn everything back on, and when I do, I should get my parking garage. So now, if I play this back, he's going to get shot with his bullet. He's going to, ooh, that hurt. And now he's going to disintegrate. And I need to obviously move this film over there. Try this one more time. Play. He just got shot with a bullet. Ooh, that hurt. Curls it. Okay. And I still need to move this back a bit more. Right there should do it. Okay. Once again. Shoot him. And disappears. And then there's the parking garage. Now this film is a bit too long, so obviously I'm just going to have it stop right there. So when we rewind it and we play it, there he gets shot by the bullet that we modeled in Maya, and he falls to the ground, shatters to a million pieces. Okay, I was not satisfied with that one, but now I am. And that's how you do it. You make it. And to render this out, grab all of this, go to Layer, or Composition, Add to Render Queue. Now, in Render Queue, you can make this whatever you want, lossless. You can go here and format it to any of these. And then here, you can click here and tell it where to go. But, yeah, there you go. That's how you shoot someone and shatter them with a million pieces. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial.